Hi guys, this is Breaker and I'm back with the first cast of the day yet again. And today's choice game is going to be between Timtation and let's see here. My god. This guy, his name is AX3 Wartooth. So let me go ahead and give both sides of the map their introduction. In the upper left hand corner spawning is our Protoss in the red trunks. I give you AX3 Wartooth. Looks like both of these guys are going to be rather talkative, which is the only problem I have with this replay. How are you going down so far? And of course, our Zerg in the lower right hand corner. Temptation. I guess the one perk that does come with casting as soon as you get out of bed is you can't remember who exactly won the replay that you just downloaded. So this kind of keeps the element of surprise going for us. But, excuse me, the forward pylon is now going down for, let's see, Wartooth, and, we have the regular makings, or excuse me, we have the makings of what appears to be a regular, macro game thus far. Oh. Okay. British Columbia, Canada. Still snow. Means still snowing. Still snowing. Guys, come on, get it right. Anyway, the map. That seems to be the number one thing that I always talk about whenever I have some fill-in time. But of course, we have a bit of a wide open area here for the wall off the full forward fast expand that we're all waiting for. And there it is. We do have Timtation throwing down the safety pool. And he's just gonna float around here with a probe for a while, but back at the natural, he's already got his Nexus queued up. The question is, what about maybe a forge? I think we're gonna have to see a forge first from this guy before we see him even try to pylon block. Drone just chasing it around here, and no, the forge is down. Question is there gonna be a pylon? Not today. Wartooth is just like, damn. Now he's gonna pull that drone back, or excuse me, that probe back if he wants to be perfectly alright. Okay. And I would just like to go over with you guys why I didn't cast this game earlier. I was actually under the impression that someone else would have done it a lot sooner. But hang on just a second, I'm going to cast it, I'm going to upload it to YouTube, and then I'm going to give it back to the guy who wanted to see it so avidly. And the probe's waiting for the third hatch to go down. Meanwhile, we got the SimCity becoming more and more complete at the Nat 4. For Wartooth, and it looks like we're gonna have a Ling come over here or not chase down that probe at all, and that seemed kind of like an appropriate nudge. But of course, look at the timing that we have the hatch going down for. This is actually, you know, significantly late. 45 minutes after 4, excuse me, 45 seconds after 4 is not the ideal timing to get it at. Probe coming down here, and I don't know, this actually might make for some kind of proxy-ish shenanigans. Yeah, it's just a pylon for now. The probe runs away with that. Okay, and the Nexus here. Well, still waiting for an assimilator to go down on both of these. You know, I mean, just reading into the amount of wow. Reading into the amount of gas that your opponent is trying to get and at what time in the game they are trying to get is one of the utmost critical parts of the game. Right now we have Timtation kind of oversaturated at the main, by the way. It can tell you just what kind of build your opponent is going for. And now this probe, are you going to make it home alive? It looks like maybe, just don't misclick. And ooh, that is a Ling that gets in with some free scouting info. but it's on a limited lifespan. Looks like both these probes are going to try and deter it from scouting, but it can see everything that's going on in the main. Of course, right now it's too terribly soon because we're still in the macro phase of the game to actually get a tech readout on this. And the mothership core is going to come in and shut it down. The overlord, the sacrificial emo lord, comes in, but it's not at the right timing. My god, do we just have more and more drones? You know, this is actually... What is this I'm looking at, guys? Come on. Bunch of lings getting creaked out of the main, and right now I want to say that Timtation really has to pull like 5 drones off of his main, put them on his natural to really get some optimal income. Look at this right now, guys. Come on. It's like, Tim, come on, wake up, bro. You got to put the frickin' drones on the natural. But I'm thinking it maybe, you know, I think he understands as Zerg what he's supposed to be doing and when he's supposed to be doing it. And this could be a reaction from him simply due to the fact that he did not get the 45-minute, excuse me, he got the hatch up rather late at his third. And now we're waiting for the gateway to finish up. Boost or time warp going down on those lings, and it looks like this might just be their chance to get in, but yeah, there's just so few lings left over here. I don't think they're gonna be able to do any damage, and with that he just basically pulls back. We do have 2 phoenixes in production at a time. I'm a little surprised I didn't see this this Stargate earlier. It's just a little surprising, but I do know that the one thing that Stargates are useless against is basically mass lings. And it looks like we just have Wartooth opting to go into a pure air toss composition, maybe with some zealots in the early game. And what do we have in production here? More phoenixes. Alright. And finally, Timtation realizes, or no he doesn't, he has no clue what he should be doing right now with these workers. He's still got 4 too many on his main. Doesn't have enough on his natural. It's just a little absurd. Come on guys. It's alright to do this. It's alright to pull workers off of your main. The optimal number is 16, guys. Overseer over here. And optimal workers over here, and it looks like these phoenixes are now going to move out and get some damage done. But interestingly enough, I think our overseer here probably got an appropriate read into that. Let's see. No, he didn't. Then how the hell does this guy know to go with hydras? Well, it doesn't matter at this rate because we actually don't see any that are being cranked out presently, so we're going to see these phoenixes get a bit of damage done if they ever get selected and moved in. Okay, this is the only problem I have with casting some replays from Casted that are lower level, but never mind. I wouldn't say it's too terribly low, but of course, you know. Anyway, Queen's going to come in here and get lifted up. Muscular augments going down. Drones getting dropped. Ooh, ouch. In the main. So much for 24 workers, and it looks like Graviton Beam has basically been used up. Alright, now these Phoenixes have to come in here and do as much damage as possible. I'm pretty sure we're going to have Wartooth wake up and realize he actually has a pylon here. And that pylon is still on cooldown. Static going down right now, like 3 spore crawlers. That's usually overkill, really. But we're gonna see these phoenixes get away as soon as Wartooth realizes they are being attacked. And this overlord will fall. Any more overlords? Maybe. Oh boy. Void Rays just kind of building up here, and ideally, if this is this is the composition we're gonna see. It's gonna be Void Ray High Templar. It's actually significantly difficult to beat. It really is, but people have not figured out the meta yet. What is, I think, an optimal counter to the High Templars would be, I'm trying to think here, the Swarm Hosts. And if you want to be able to beat, I'm trying to think here, Flyers. If you want to be able to beat the Void Rays, just keep on cranking out a bunch of Hydras. Okay, guys, so like, this is my early morning cast. You guys know what my casting is like now, when I'm not quite awake yet. And so basically this is how I casted the Neo TV Star League as well as the Asia StarCraft League on some occasions, with just as much sleep as I have now. Just as conscious as I am now as well. And with that, I want to say that if we had Timtation looking at the Overlord as it died, he would know what he's up against. He's making nothing but Hydras right now. He's researching Ventral Sacs, and he's getting an Infestation Pit. Question is just, what are we going to see from him? Okay, now the reason why I say you need Swarm Hosts to deal with the ground forces is, well, one, they're good at raffle stomping Zealots and everything else, but two, they force the opponent to actually waste their psionic storms on the locusts that are on the ground, instead of, superficially speaking, targeting down the Hydras, which are further back and harder to hit because of the Swarm Hosts on the ground. And Void Rays are not a good counter to the composition. Void Rays are not a good counter to Swarm Hosts as long as you have Hydras accompanying them. Biggest problem we're gonna see is like detection, that kind of thing. And we have this kind of ballsy move, a Dark Shrine and more Stargates being tacked on. That's right, I'm wondering if we're gonna see Kurt Russell pop out of one of these things with an M16. Be interesting to watch, right? Oh boy. Where is the Mega Ultimate composition? There it is. There it is, Swarm Hosts. Let's see if this works out, because I've actually only theorized that this is what Zergs should be doing, because, like, Infestors, they don't seem to really be cutting it right now. They get feedbacked by the High Templars. Alright, let's see. +2 is about finished, as well as Enduring Locusts for Timtation. He is about 32 supply up on his opponent, and he has no detection. Queens are being pulled as well. I like that. I like that. And he's such a... Yeah. Let's see. We got some hot Locust action going down here. And the question is he going to be able to catch on to this force that's moving out to deal with him right now? You know, I mean, right now I think we see Wartooth in a rather desperate situation. And he's making the mistake of moving his Hydras forward. He should never be doing that, actually. Because the main... Yeah, this is going to cost him his army, basically. Yep. Storm's going down on top of the Swarm Hosts. You have to be able to time that Locust Swarm Host wave just right, otherwise you're in a lot of trouble. And looks like maybe the timing on this one is just about right. We're gonna have some Void Rays. Actually, we're gonna have some Hydras left over to deal with the Void Rays, and that Colossus was just a hallucination. Oh! And no, I'm not just telling you to pa Gangnam Style. I'm actually going. I was actually a little dazed as to whether or not this carrier was going to be destroyed. I mean, the Hydras, they're in the competition. They're in the composition now, and now we have a Viper coming out. Doesn't have enough energy for an Abduct just yet, and the Locusts are just being told to go this direction and not shoot at anything. You know, I mean, that's free DPS not being used on the Zealots. And basically we have, you know, Locusts taking the role in this game as basically, like, Zerg Zealots, if you will. Right now, Temptation is ideally where he needs to be, and he needs to just keep on going forward with it. We have +3 missile attacks on the way and +2 carapace. Not really committing to He's not really committing to infestor tech. I like that a lot. But at the same time, we gotta see him use more hive-specific tech. Now we just have more and more carriers building up, and I'm just a little curious. Like, I know corruptors will counter this no problem. That's the big thing right now. The best thing that we can see come from I think Temptation would be to basically max out on corruptors, but he doesn't even have a spire up. So right now we're gonna have to see basically Vipers. Oh no, and he's throwing away these Storm Hosts, dude. That is so bad for him right now. Oh man, he just ran his entire Stormhost army straight up into that, and now he's got 39 Hydras in production, but I don't think that's the right unit for the job right now. You know, he's got a significant bank. Look at his income. But at the same time, I'm thinking he should have, he should definitely have some kind of a backup plan, and that backup plan, with what he has seen right now, his main focus should be Corruptors. Corruptors get a buff versus massive units. And of course, never make the mistake of actually abducting Archons into your main army, guys. You know, pretty good creep spread so far. Oh man, and see, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Watch, the Hydras, like, they're gonna get taken down left and right. Temptation, you know, he doesn't realize how quickly his supply is plummeting. He doesn't need to be doing this. But he is targeting down one carrier at a time, and it's just not working out for him. Carriers are being microed adequately versus him. And he's not microing his Hydras, which is actually costing him quite a few of these. Burrows, unburrows, pulls them back. And now we have 3 carriers at a time being cranked out. No, Tim, stop! You have a Spire! What in the ever-loving hell are you doing? When you see just carriers coming at you, you make you don't make Broodlords, you make Corruptors. When you need something to attack units on the ground, you make Broodlords out of those Corruptors. Why are you making Tormos still? Okay, I guess you just never lost those two. Alright, so here we go. Main army kind of regrouping over here for Temptation, and he's just not really getting the picture. Meanwhile, we have our Protoss with basically, you know, he's got some significant upgrades. Oh, come on! Kill, kill, kill! Took down another carrier. Beautiful Storms going down. 3 infestors out and on the way, but I never once saw pathogen glands in production. Yep, and that's a huge mistake. Okay, and right now we see Temptation. You know, he's just throwing away his army. It doesn't make sense. Like, he doesn't realize what stage his opponent is at right now. It looks like he might be able to move in here, just move his way into a base, if he's lucky. Abducting one carrier, but of course all these other carriers coming over here to counter. Beautiful Storms going down, which are totally melting that Zerg army. I know we just have Wartooth basically banking. Oh boy. And there it is. We have a Zealot run by coming down here at the 6 o'clock position base. Lots of Zealots at that. They're just opting to be thrown away right now, is really all I can gather from this. But DT is coming in as well for Wartooth. It's like he completely forgot that there were spore crawlers here. Okay, and now it looks like maybe we're gonna see Protoss move out on creep. He's about maxed out at a 200 army, and this engagement not the best for him. And the High Templar are not throwing down any storms. Oh my god, the Infestors. One of them still has enough energy for a fungal, and it's just not going down. Okay, until now. DT's coming in to clean up the mess, and now you see the Timtation in a lot of trouble. It's not hit him yet that Corruptors counter carriers. It's alright to make Corruptors, guys. I mean, we know they're god-awful units, but they're the only thing that will hard counter a carrier. Unless you can get beautiful fungal growths, yes, that would be great, but at the same time, you know, we just have so much infrastructure around here. You know, I mean, it's a lot, don't get me wrong, but yeah. And now we have a 3-3 Zerg versus a 2-0-3 Protoss. And there it is, another engagement, but I just don't feel it working out in favor of Tim very well. Yeah, all these zealots on the ground, DT's coming in. Like, pure Hydralisk will not do the job, guys. It's like pure Marine versus a bunch of burrowed Banelings and Infestors. It just will not work out. So now we're making Swarm Hosts, which don't shoot up, and do Jack and shit versus carriers just as Jack left town. Alright, now then, let's see, all this infrastructure being tacked on, it looks like Wartooth is going to be just fine for the next few minutes. He's got a few orange and red health carriers here, a couple of them instructors, if not master levels. Yeah, that's a little sick. It looks like every expo on the map has been taken now. I know it's not quite reading into it well enough, but yeah. +3 air armor on the way for Protoss, and now we see nothing but Hydras yet again, all the way up here. Here, Tim, I got a message for you. And here we go. 6 storms. Timptation's trying to come back in to engage, but his supply is just so low right now. He's got Vipers, he's got Hydras. And it just gets raffle stomped. You know, Locusts, Locusts are back here trying to hold their ground desperately from the Swarm Hosts. They are getting taken down one at a time. And it looks like we have all the income on this base being taken down indefinitely, and that's going to really make a huge difference. Look at how far behind Timtation is right now. It's just not pretty. And here we go. Jeez, it's looking, I don't know, increasingly gruesome for Timtation. And behind this we see that Wartooth is just remaxing on Stalkers whenever possible. They are a more mobile unit. They're kind of better to use in the late-ish game. And I want to say the one big thing that really helped him out was the window that he had to move up here. And it looks like he's taking his pylon advice from the Day 9 Daily. And, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that there is actually Ventral Sacks. Oh, a bunch of Overlords moving over here, but they are completely empty. Looks like we're going to see Timtation try and put some roaches in them. Queen's now falling. Hydras, yeah. What was the third is now dead. And a bunch of Hydras are now in the production, and now in the mix, excuse me. It looks like they're getting thrown away at whatever's here, and I'm just a little curious as to why this game is still going on. You know, I mean, basically, Timtation is nowhere near winning this game. I'm thinking this could be a manor-ish pylon. And this is the definite sign that you are losing a game. When you don't have enough resources to produce the units that hard counter what your opponent is throwing at you. And this is going to be one of the desperate last stands of Timtation. He's remaxing on Lings. Yes, there he is. He has left the game, unfortunately for him. You know, you just gotta wake up, guys. I mean, honestly, like, Corruptors, they get a buff versus massive units. You know, and this, what is a carrier? Right here, you can see that. Massive. The Hydras, of course, they were countered by, you know, I kind of like the early to mid-ish game. It's like, you know, he cranked out the correct unit composition as I just made a game that I never actually saw it. I never actually saw anyone come up with this idea before me, but I'm sure other players were thinking it all the same. Doesn't make me a genius, but when he was over here with the Swarm Hosts and the Hydras, that was perfectly okay. And when he, I'm trying to think here, when he went with the Corruptors, or when he never cranked out any Corruptors, that's when everything just went to shit. I mean, like, Corruptors do double damage versus massive units. What is not to like about them? Wartooth, you know, he had sick performance all throughout the game. If you just look at what we got here, this is 23 cannons all over the map, Twilight Council, Templar Archives, double cybernetic score. Why would you get... Oh yeah, double cybernetic score for double Sky Toss upgrades. How many Stargates do we have here? 4. We have 18 gateways altogether, actually warp gates. So overall, just like pretty sick macro from Wartooth. And that's basically what I got from you guys. Just kind of forgive me because this is my first cast of the day, and it's I'm kind of sleepy. But go ahead and click on the subscribe button below this video if you guys liked what you saw. This has been Breaker. I'll see you guys next time.